Medschool Journey series. I'm your host today, Takondwa Mbewe, a third-year medical student from here, the University of Zambia. And today I'm joined by the doc himself. So, Doc, what's your name and where do you work?
Okay, my name is Simon Hatimbula. I am an alumni from the University of Zambia, to be precise, in the School of Medicine. Currently, I'm attached at Livingstone University Teaching Hospital, currently rotating in the Department of Obstetrics and Gynecology.
So, you being an alumni, you know the issue of respect between seniors and juniors. Why is that so important, especially when we cross the national road?
Okay. So the idea of respect between seniors and juniors is very cardinal, and it's actually affected a lot of students positively and of course negatively. And suffice to mention that respect is something that should be earned, as people say. So respect should not only be one-sided. As some seniors, seniors will tell you, no, juniors are not respecting us, but it should be a two-way thing, okay? Juniors, in as much as you don't have to respect the seniors, but I believe they too need to be respected. So the importance that comes with that is, like in the wards, especially when you get there, your senior would ask you to go and click, maybe at night, or you're at a busy day, or you're tired, okay? But if they see that you're unruly or you are not being compliant, sometimes they would, seniors have passed through where you guys actually are.
Yes.
So that the people that know what your lecturers would want to ask in your exams, what material to study, okay? So if you're being unruly and being disrespectful, really, they may not really come to your aid. And we've seen a number of students actually not only failing courses but also repeating courses just based on that aspect of respect.
So this issue of respect, I think can be directly linked with humility and being teachable.
Yeah.
Yes, and just being lowering ourselves to a level where we can associate with other people.
I agree.
So if I want to be like on a 1 month army type of journey, is that wrong for me, or should I? What's the importance of me interacting with people, my seniors, my juniors, and even those at the same level as me?
Okay, that's a very good question. Actually, so when we came to Ridgeway campus, there are a lot of people, or let me say a lot of us, who had the mentality of coming here to wanting to study on your own. But you're in third year, right?
Yes, I am.
Yes, you know how bulky third year and probably fourth year you'll be able to observe that. It's very bulky to an extent that it may not really be enough for you to study stuff on your own. So you're actually encouraged to form study groups, so that you can get as much information as possible. So even I was not a study group person, but when I came here, I was actually forced to be in, and I didn't even have a specific study group. But I remember towards the end of exams, I had over 10 study groups.
Wow.
No, not that they were mine. So you'd find people clustered together, you go there. So the advantage that has is people would be maybe sharing a past paper, and another group would be sharing another past paper. So you'd be privileged to learn from this. And by the way, this thing of recycling, maybe you find the same questions in the exam. So that's really the advantage. But if you are you are one-man army, your scope of information is only to a certain extent. You are limited to what you can actually study. But if you have a broad spectrum, you get to the study group, the other study group, and the like, you'll be able to scope as much information as you can. Yeah.
So that's like information in med school, or does it also encompass like little information outside med school?
Yeah, but study groups usually are academic oriented. Mainly when people I've seen a lot of people having study groups here. I'm sure they're discussing school and not really. People may say, let's discuss relationships. I'm sure they're doing schoolwork. Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. Talking about interest, how did you ever at some point lose interest in med school?
In med school?
Yes.
Losing interest?
Yes.
Oof. That's a tough question. Okay, losing interest, I wouldn't really say I had lost interest. Med school is something that will frustrate you. There are just times where you just feel like giving up. But losing interest, I think for me, when more challenges came through, I think that was actually the most time I gained more interest. Don't you get what I mean? Like where you, what do you feel? You feel a test, you feel some presentation, those things. Actually, I think they motivated me to actually gain more interest. I would actually stick my results on the wall. Like this is what is actually going to push me work hard. So losing interest, I don't think I actually came to a point where I just said I'm stopping this now. Not yet. I think those failures that I've actually encountered are the most things that actually made me want this more. Yeah.
So also in this journey, you know, sometimes you feel, personally, I do feel like I'm wasting time sometimes. And how did you ever feel like that? Like you're wasting time in med school? And if so, like how did you deal with it? Was there a season where you're like, okay, no, like, okay, what am I doing here?
Yeah. I'll be very honest with you. So medical school is, the duration and the time of study is very long. So you'll be like, okay, you get done with your friends from high school. After a certain number of years, you both go to school, and you discover that while you're in fourth year, your friends have graduated. Others are your friends are driving. Actually, I'll be very honest with you. I think from all the friends that I used to play with, or that I used to play with, I'm the only one who's not married, and because.
Oh, so. Aside from interest, there's also the issue of time in med school. And I feel like I'm wasting time sometimes. And I'm like, okay, what am I doing here? What am I studying? Where is this taking me? Did you at some point feel like you're wasting time in med school?
Okay. Yeah, that's an interesting question. Did I feel like I wasted time? So I would say this. Like you all complete grade 12 and then you with your friends, there's just good friends, the people that you've been playing with, and then you're all selected to go to university. And you agree with me that medical school has there's a longevity in the time frame, the period in which you're supposed to study that. Now, then 7 years, now it's now 6 years. But you discover that as you are going on, your friends that are studying other courses, by fourth year they are done. Some of them will be driving, some of them will be marrying, and I'll be very honest with you. I think from the clique that I used to found, I think I'm the only one who's not married. All my friends are married. And then you are like, I think at the time I was in 60s, I was like, guys, really? My friends are working, they're driving, and they're married. Others have 2 kids. You're like, really wasting time here. But the wait is worth it. It's worth it. Yeah. So feeling like you're wasting time, that feeling is there. Time every now and then. That's my experience. Every now and then. But this statement may not really make sense. It comes to dawn when you complete med school. Yeah. When you complete, I know, should I talk about deployment? Okay, but anyway, we'll talk about that later. But when you complete med school, that's when that idea of feeling like you wasted time actually comes to hit really hard. But I had felt like I'd wasted time at some point because my friends were happening. There was. So, on wasting time, just the very note of wasting time. I actually published a book. It's entitled The Unexpected Route. Shout out to Mumba Kalenzi. She actually assisted me with the title after narrating the whole story. So the book really talks about. I actually spent 9 years in med school. It seems a lot. It doesn't seem. It's actually a lot. Yeah. So since 2013, that's when we actually admitted, and then in second year I had a breakdown, family things. But then we fast forward. So there was a time when medical students have to actually cross over to regional campus. And then it's something where I had not accessed my results from first year. So I just kept dragging myself. Second year, third year, I brought myself without results. And I remember the dean at the time, Dr Kanimba, came. There were a lot of students actually came from main campus who were not quoted in medicine. And I was one of them. I didn't know I was quoted anyway. So he came and made an announcement saying, all those who have not been quoted in medicine, go back to main campus. I think 70 of them went back.
Wow.
And I was the only one that remained. So kept on, and I remember at the end of the third year, that thing where you don't write exams and the like, but miraculously I got bursary, and I paid the little that I had, and I was allowed to write my exams. But then third year where you've been a malingara, you didn't write exams, and then so after I wrote the exams, I was actually excluded from med school. I had 3 Ds. 3 Ds, huh? Yes, actually I had 3 Ds. I like literally got excluded from school. Yeah, and then expulsion, you know, the things, write letters, and then I was readmitted. So okay, it's a long journey, and then after that, actually, failing makes you. It doesn't. It's how I failed. I'm repeating it hits so hard when you see your friends with stethoscopes going to the other side of the road, and then you're still going back to the same lecture theaters that you were actually. So it really hit so bad. So I actually took it upon myself. That's when I started tutoring third years in human anatomy. By then there were no tutors in anatomy. So I actually took up the initiative while in fourth year. Actually, one of the hardest years in med school. I started tutoring third years because I know what failing could actually do to some. It's very bad. If you've not experienced it, I'm praying that you don't. Yeah, so tutored until 7th year. Yeah, so basically the book is talking about. I know there are a lot of students who in the medical journey, some of them have failed, some of them have felt like giving up, some of them have financial constraints, and I was actually one of them. I'd actually stopped medicine. I wanted to do teaching at Nkrumah University. Yes, I was a teacher for a year, and then I got back again. Anyway, so that's all those things have been pinned down. But yeah, so basically the book is talking about the failures and the success of my story, and also an encouragement to medical. There are those who are very brilliant all the way. Well, kudos to them. Yeah, but there are those who are struggling financially and also academic-wise. So yeah, that book is dedicated to them. So hopefully once it's ready, but I'm not just. I'm looking for a strategy on how we could advertise it. But once it's out, we'll definitely come through. So the target market really is the students, really, not only at Monza but everywhere.
So according to the research that I did about you, I found that you served in the 2021 academic year when you were in the 6th year. How did you make that happen?
Okay, how did I make that happen? No, a lot of seniors are hungry for power. Yes, so initially we had talked about the senior-junior relation. And if you've been very humble enough and you've carried yourself very well and you've given your seniors respect, even when it comes to things like you wanting to stand, sometimes they'll just give you and say, okay, you can go ahead and stand and do your thing. So I actually stood for presidency in usually, so this happens at the end of the 5th year and 6th year. So when I did that, I actually had, I went unopposed, but I was a bit stupid, people say it. I started, you're high, no, I'm going unopposed. So I was actually given an opponent just to frustrate me. But long story short, I won. Landslide, yeah, I won, and then so I served in the 2021 academic year as the MEDSA president. And oh, by the way, the current logo that you have, we are the ones who made it. Just under my regime, yes. So we achieved a lot of things and passed on the mantle to the others, and I'm actually glad that you guys took up that and we're now having such things. In my time, we never used to hold this, so kudos to you guys for actually holding up such interviews. Yeah. So yeah, it was just respect to the people that went before me, and they gave me an opportunity to actually stand. So
that's very interesting. So, with the current levels of unemployment in Zambia, what advice do you have for us who are in med school? And even after we finish, once we finish med school and when we finish med school, what advice can you give us?
The advice that I can give medical students, even when they are high levels of unemployment, yeah, continue with school. Continue with school and finish, and then be part of the train that is waiting. Okay, anyway, med school has can only teach so much. Yeah, like I've always said, we are not equipped so much in med school to with skills to handle life. It's how to treat malaria, how to treat fractures, those liver things. Yeah, but really how to handle school after med school. That I think as an association, we didn't do so much in our time, and as a school really, people have not really concentrated much on the aftermath. You graduate, you're happy, and then what after that? Okay? So true to the fact, yeah, there's actually high levels of unemployment. There are not doctors out there who are not yet employed, and we're actually coming up. Thanks to my mentor, Dr. Simon Hatimbula. Actually, he used to tell me this every now and then. to say medicine is not as it was then. Because back in the days, 2009, people would, once their results are out, even before graduation, they receive their letters to go work. Fast forward, the intakes that followed up only waited maybe for a month. They got their employment letters. Fast forward, only the next group would only wait for 3 months. The other groups waited for 6 months. The other groups waited for a year. I'll tell you, for us, our intake, okay, let me speak, there are some of course, but for us, for me, we got employed like after a year and 6 months. So if you are to look at the turnout of events, it is something that will tell you that times have changed. Medicine is not as it was then. Even just health workers, nurses back in the days, if a nurse was walking in the road, people would, they would pay respect because these are people that are managing life out there. Okay, but now a nurse would pass and people would just be like, they just, that level of, is not there. Okay, so times have changed. What am I trying to say? Medical students need to realize that we are not as we were then. Okay, so as we complete our schools, people should know that jobs are not easily accessible, and then we should also we should equip ourselves with things to do afterwards. There are people who've joined NGOs, and my advice would actually be to start up with voluntary work. People say voluntary work is no, you can't spend a lot of years in school and then you start volunteering. But the current state of affairs at the ground dictates that you just do that. Start volunteering, voluntary work. There are people like for me. I was picked from the cholera center because I was actually found volunteering in the hospital. Now imagine if I was home saying, no, I did 7 years medical school, I wait for people to employ me, I wouldn't have gotten the job. But so they came to the hospital and said, those are who are volunteering, let's go. Those are people that they pick. But imagine if I was just sitting home. So I would encourage people to volunteer. And I'll tell you one fact, there are no SRMOs positions that are being created. So through your voluntary work, complete medical school, complete your internship, you get your permanent license. There are a lot of jobs of SRMOs. I think every now and then people advertising, no, an SRMO is needed in Lunga, in Kabombo, okay? So all those are opportunities, but imagine that opportunity comes, say an SRMO is needed, and all you did was, because I did medicine for 7 years, I'm just going to that opportunity will not find you. So medical students need to realize that times have changed. Yes, it wasn't as prestigious as it was then. You complete school, you get your job. When you go for graduation, you go driving. No, it's not as it was. So some of us got our jobs after a year and 6 months. Times have changed. So we need to equip ourselves. If you need a mentor, find a mentor outside who is going to equip you, because people have gotten into depression, mental trauma. Okay, very real. You did all your 7 years or your 6 years and only to discover that there are no jobs out there. So that's very key. You need to do something after med school. Yeah.
That's very interesting. So it means humility while in med school, humility during med school.
Definitely.
And even after med
way,
school, throughout the whole life.
Yeah.
This comes to the end of the interview. Thank you so much for sparing your time, coming all the way from Livingston and being here and chatting with us.
It's far.
Yes, it's very far.
No, I actually flew, so it's...
Wow, okay. Giving.
Giving, yeah.
Yes. So thank you so much for this amazing opportunity to interview you. Would you like to say anything before
we close? Okay, just a word to the medical students out there. Obama said hope is that stubborn thing that keeps us moving. So I would say this to you, every lecture theater that you're going to get to, in every classroom that you're going to sit, there are always footprints there. So it simply means there are people who actually passed through, and definitely will not be the first one. So if people managed to pass through and proceeded to the next year and finally completed, then we can also do it. I know it's very tough, but guys, after when we just start working, it's nice. I'm telling you, it's very nice. You make your own decisions. You do it. It's amazing. So just hold on. If it's a string, just hang on, work hard, and let's do this. It shall be well. It shall be well. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, that comes to the end of the show. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.
Bye. Lucas, bye.